You ever wonder how we could make our mark, really make our mark, not just here on Earth, but across the whole galaxy? Well, today we're diving into this absolutely fascinating idea called the Milky Way Nanite Challenge. It's basically a plan to send a message from us to entirely new star systems.
So, what's the motivation here? Why even try something so out there? Honestly, the source material just nails it. It's all about sending this message into the cosmos, like a contest entry for the whole galaxy to, and I quote, show those ETs out there that we can do cool stuff. I love that. It's bold, it's a little bit cheeky, and it's just incredibly ambitious.
But okay, that raises a pretty monumental question, doesn't it? How could we actually do this? How could humanity, from our little rock in a quiet corner of the Milky Way, really enter a galactic competition? Well, the plan? It's as clever as it is bold.
All right, Section 1, Riding on a Sunbeam. This is all about the vehicle for an interstellar voyage. So how do we pull this off? The heart of this idea isn't some giant city-sized starship. Nope, it's something way, way smaller. We're talking about hitching a ride on a sunbeam with a vehicle that's almost impossibly tiny.
Let me introduce you to the nanites. Now, these aren't the tiny robots you see in sci-fi movies. They're intelligently designed particles, smaller than a micron. Just try to picture it, microscopic grains of dust. But each one is engineered to carry information. And that information, wow, it could be anything. The blueprint for our DNA, basic math constants, a whole digital library of our art and music. It's like a message in a bottle, but shrunk down to an incredible scale.
Okay, so how do these things even travel? They don't have engines or rockets. They use something called solar radiation pressure, and it's exactly what it sounds like. The light from our sun, the photons themselves, literally push on things. For something as incredibly light as a nanite, that gentle, constant push is enough to accelerate it, push it faster and faster, right out of our solar system. Think of it like a dandelion seed catching the wind and just floating away on an epic journey.
Next up, we have the Interstellar Gauntlet, a journey across the void. Because, of course, just launching these things is the easy part. The journey itself, man, it's an interstellar gauntlet, an absolutely epic trip across a vast, dangerous emptiness that throws up challenges you can barely even imagine.
And the time it's going to take, it is just staggering. We are not talking about a few decades or a few centuries. We are talking about millions of years. This is a project that demands a kind of patience that goes way beyond a single human lifetime or even the lifetime of a civilization.
And yeah, there are so many ways this mission could fail. For millions of years, these nanites have to survive being blasted by harsh radiation out in deep space. That's challenge number 1. Then, if they make it to a new star, they have to figure out how to slow down without just being instantly fried into nothing. And even if they survive that, they've got to avoid being buried forever deep inside a brand new planet as the whole system is forming. It's a cosmic obstacle course, and the stakes couldn't be higher.
I know, it sounds pretty much impossible, right? A tiny little particle surviving all of that for millions of years? But, and this is the really cool part, we have actual evidence that it's possible. This isn't just a wild theory. Turns out, nature has already pulled it off.
You see, scientists have found these things called pre-solar grains inside meteorites. These are tiny, tiny particles that were actually formed around other stars way before our sun was even born. And as the source material points out, they found, quote, intact layer sequences in pre-solar SiC. What that means in plain English is that these nanoscale structures survived their own incredible journey through space to get to us, and they arrived perfectly intact. It's like nature already ran the experiment for us and showed us it could be done.
All right, on to our next section, seeding a new system, the ultimate payoff. So let's imagine one of these nanites makes it. It survives this absolutely unbelievable journey. What happens then? What's the end game for this mission that's taken millions of years?
Well, the final act is a waiting game. The nanite gets to a new, still-forming star system, and it just waits. It waits for that huge cloud of gas and dust, the nebula, to collapse and create a brand new star and new planets. Then, only when that new sun finally switches on, the nanite uses its light to deploy its message. It's an incredibly patient plan. So if you put it all together, the whole mission plan looks like this. Step 1, we design and build them right here on Earth. Step 2, our own sun pushes them out into space.
Step 3, they have to survive that long, lonely trip. Step 4, they have to avoid getting burned up or buried when they arrive. And finally, Step 5, they deploy their message in the light of a new star. It's an incredible long-term vision.
Which brings us back to maybe the biggest question of all. A message without an address. Why would we do this? Really, why? Why would we start a project when we know we will never ever see the results? What's the point of sending a message when you know you'll never get a reply?
The source material puts it so perfectly. It's a contest entry without a return address. This isn't about having a conversation. It's about legacy. It's about showing what we're capable of, our foresight. You could even call it a form of cosmic art. It's a testament saying, hey, we were here. In this one little corner of the galaxy, a species learned how to write its story into the stars themselves just because it could.
So in the end, the science, the physics, it all suggests this is actually possible. We could, in theory, do this. And that leaves us with a really deep question to think about. If we have the power to send a message across the entire galaxy, a message that proves intelligent life can reach beyond its home, to plant a seed of knowledge that could bloom millions of years after we're gone, what does it say about us if we choose not to?